Raptors Digest. What's up and welcome back. I'm here to give you the 5 takeaways of a massive 126-113 win on the road over the Memphis Grizzlies, who really came out hot there in the first half. Things did not look pretty. But shouts out to everyone who was in the chat with me the whole live stream. It was good vibes. It was a lot of fun. And ultimately, the Raptors get a well-earned W tonight. And there was plenty of guys that you could look at and give some credit to. Before I get into my takeaways, if you haven't seen Ben and Riker's post-game breakdown, definitely go check that out, man. It's going to be some quality content. You know they're going to be hyped up after this W. So you don't want to miss that. Make sure to go like, comment, give your opinions, engage with it. Of course, as always, they're going to be the main show. So don't want to miss that. And my bets, Scotty Barnes, at least 15 points. Money in the bank, man. He had a comeback game. He's a man of his word. Posted on his Snapchat story, his Instagram story today, telling everyone that, be great, number 4. And he went out there and he was great tonight. And then Steven Adams, 7 or more rebounds. The guy had like 6 after the first quarter. And then essentially just sat down on the bench because they were playing Jaren Jackson Jr. the rest of the night. That's a heartbreaker. I felt like this was a lock of a bet. I have Steven Adams in the fantasy pool for Raptors Digest. Another reason I felt okay betting on him. Normally I don't bet on an opposing player, but go figure. It came and bit me tonight. I guess I deserve it. But main moral of the story here is the Raptors won. And let me get to explaining what I saw out there in this victory. So as I was mentioning, first half did not start out good. We had a lead at some point there in the first, but Memphis basically in the driver's seat for most of this. Desmond Bane really showing out, hitting a bunch of big shots for the Grizzlies. Dylan Brooks was on fire. I'll get to all of that a little bit later, but a lot of different players stepping up for the Grizz, and John Morant coming on late. But credit to the Raptors, they made their best half of the second half, which has been a bit of a rarity this season. I mean, Precious Achiuwa just balling out. Svi Mikhailuk, a bit of a quiet night, but still doing his role really well. And the defense, I'm not going to lie, completely suspect throughout the first half, but you end up locking it in the second, and you manage to generate a ton of offense off of your back end. Big stops leading to big buckets. Fred VanVleet having a really solid night despite picking up 5 fouls, almost fouling out. We kept things together. We got the W. That's what's important. And I'll get into the specifics right now as I go through my 5 breakdowns or takeaways. And I got to apologize. I'm sick right now. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I was sick all through the live stream, but not too sick that I can't record this. And here we go with my first takeaway, guys. I'll let you know what I'm thinking. So the future is bright for Canada basketball. That is a huge takeaway for me right now. Brooks, Banton, Clark. I know Boucher was out there, not really a lot to speak of for him tonight, but wow. I mean, if you're not impressed by Dylan Brooks, then you just don't like basketball. This guy does a little bit of everything. I'm a huge fan of Dylan Brooks. I always have been, and tonight was just an exclamation point on the kind of development he's had. I got to tip my hat. I know he's on the opposing team, but Dylan Brooks, big fan of his, and I can't wait to see him represent Canada. Banton also played really good tonight, and let's talk about Brandon Clark's floater. That thing's like 95%. Crazy game for him, just in terms of his efficiency. You give him a chance to put up a floater, it's going down. Overall, a really good player. The future is bright for Canada basketball. That was really like my biggest takeaway from this game. But let me get to some more Raptors-specific content here with my second
I don't even
takeaway.
know where you're sitting at.
Gary Trent Jr. tonight told me that he deserves the last shot. That's a big takeaway for me. He turned on the Jets there in the fourth quarter, and anytime we needed a big shot to pull ahead, which we struggled to do for a very long time, Gary Trent Jr. was there to knock it down. It didn't seem to matter if he was shooting from an awkward position. He got his shot and he made his shots. And just fearless. I love the kind of attitude that Gary had tonight. It was contagious for the rest of the group. He wasn't afraid. He wasn't afraid at all. We've seen Raptors role players at times take a back seat, not wanting to take big shots. No, Gary was looking for them, and he was hitting them. Came to life for us. Ended up with how many points? 26 points for him. Just a crazy night, and he ends up shooting 4 of 7 from three-point range. Amazing. Next up, third takeaway of the game. Scotty Barnes, like I said, he's a man of his word. I bet on him because I saw tonight that he posted on his Snapchat story. I made the same mistake. Guys, I'm all over the place. I'm sick right now. On his Instagram, saying that he was going to come out and be great. And I saw that and immediately was like, all right, that's a bold statement. I'm going to put my money where your mouth is. And it ends up paying off. He had a really rough game in Golden State. I mean, a double-double still. But there was points in that Golden State game. Let's keep in mind, he hit 2 3-pointers. So that gives him 6 points. He gets 4 in different ways. for a total of 10. But still, I thought at points he really just looked like complacent, tentative, didn't really want the ball, and that's rare for Scottie Barnes. Like, normally he's all over it, but Golden State's defense got right into the Raptors, and you could see it had an effect on Scottie. He wasn't happy with himself. I was really hoping he'd have the guts to come out and really stick it to the Memphis Grizzlies with a big effort. It's exactly what he did. Ends up with, how many? 17 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Does a bit of everything for the Raptors, and even hit a three-pointer tonight. Hopefully that's a trend that can continue for Scottie Barnes. He's been shooting the threes recently, which is rare for him. Next up, takeaway number 4. Precious played amazing. There's no other way to put this. Amazing. He tried to put the exclamation point on this thing with a crazy dunk towards the end. But let's see, 17 points for him as well. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. This guy was 3 of 3 from three-point range. He was efficient all night, just cutting all the time. He was so active out there. It made a huge difference for us, and he just gave us those big energy plays. We fed off of his energy all night. It was evident. And Precious Achiuwa, someone who takes a lot of slander in this fan base, unfortunately. This kid is young, and he's doing stuff like that. Future's bright. I'm a big fan of what he did tonight. That was a big takeaway for me. And then also, for my last takeaway, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but we peaked at the right time. This team seems to be good for like 3 quarters of really solid basketball, but then we just disappear for one. And in this case, we disappeared for a whole first half. I know the first quarter had its moments, but you lost both quarters in the first half. But then you come out in the second half and you chip away big time in the third, and then the fourth, you just run with it. I mean, this is signs of a winning squad. I know that we're not quite there yet, but these are good habits to be in. Showing up for the third and fourth has been an issue. I know the third quarter especially has just been a thorn in our sides. The Achilles heel, you might even say. But tonight it was not. It was a strength, and I'm happy we flipped the script and managed to get a W in crunch time. Overall, great vibes tonight. I apologize. I've been kind of rough on the speech throughout this video of my 5 takeaways. Just I'm so sick right now. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, but tonight was still fun on live stream, as it always is, and I encourage you guys to tune into some other ones. I got to get back on track with my bets. I don't know what's going on. Steven Adams, man, you need to get me 1 more rebound, and you couldn't. C'est la vie. It goes on. We'll live to see another bet and another game, but the real redeeming thing here is that the Raptors won by a score of 126 to 113, and I got to tip my hat to the Grizzlies too. They're a young team, sort of in a similar retooling situation to us, even though theirs has been dating back a little further. I do like the Grizzlies. I do like them big time, and they showed some defensive grit and hustle tonight, but not enough to keep off the Raptors. We get a huge W. Let me know what your takeaways were in the comments. I appreciate the support. As always, guys, make sure to keep tuning in. And like I said, if you haven't seen Ben and Riker's postgame, go check it out, man. It's the main show here. And I'm signing off.